Welcome back everyone to the Plantonics UK Open. I'm Madals and we are in map number 2 of this best of 3. It's a first round game and spawning in the top right hand position of Yonsu is the red Protoss player who is currently one game up representing FM Esports, Boombox. And his opponent down to the bottom right, bottom left rather, the blue Terran player. It's Lethal. Being a single elimination bracket, Lethal has to win this game. If he doesn't, it means that he unfortunately will drop out of this cup and will go no further. Won't be in with a chance of winning any of the awesome Plantonic gear that's up for grabs, or any of the honour that comes with trying to win a UK only tournament to say you were the best on the night. Both players currently opening relatively normally. And I say relatively normally, the only thing they could be doing that's freakishly abnormal would be to go for some kind of proxy. But they're not. Looks like Lethal happy to open again, pretty much identically to how he did in map 1, with the racks into the gas in order to go Reapers. Reapers are good on this map specifically because they've got their little ledge that's just for Reapers here to bounce on up into the main. May also be a reactor nice and early. It's another possible build that I discussed in map number 1. So, gotta keep a close eye on what they do. Boombox also scouting nice and early. Meanwhile, at home, he's just got the one gas yet again, and should be adding in a cybernetics core now that his gateway has finished. And he's building these in a way that it walls off part of the way around the back of his mineral line. As such, he then is unable to come through with a Reaper and just mitigate some of the risk that could be coming from Reaper harassment early on. Lethal going to take an expansion now. He's got the Reaper on his way, so it's a very standard Reaper expand, just as we saw on map number 1. Meanwhile, Boombox, he takes his second gas, should be starting up his mothership core once that cybernetics core is finished, and with that should be able to deter further aggression. But Boombox is throwing down a pylon in what can only be described as a very unusual position. It's an unusual position because a proxy position tends to be closer to your opponent's base if it's going to be a Stargate or something, which leaves a more likely option of a Twilight Council into Dark Templar proxy. That's certainly a good possibility as well. Reaper now coming up into the main base of Boombox. Boombox going to be able to thwart its attempts at getting damage down using this Stalker, and with the mothership core soon to be joining it. The Reaper can get away for the moment. Boombox about to hit 150 gas, and then we'll see. Yep, Twilight Council coming down as expected. Probably going to be proxy Dark Shrine in order to try and catch his opponent off guard with DTs, but it's not gonna get scouted. Oh my goodness, Boombox was lucky there. That was nearly a big giveaway of the plan. Lethal should know that something's up though, because he can't see any tech and he knows that there's 6 probes in gas. That's a lot of gas production, or gas income. Where's it all going? Reaper still getting forced back, sees there's no natural base. A bunker is going to get built to the front, but what's absolutely essential is that we see Lethal get down a missile turret, and this engineering bay is a good indicator it could be coming. A missile turret grants permanent detection and will shut down this build from Boombox very well, but Boombox actually going Blink, not going to be going into DTs as I originally thought. It's a good map for Blink. It's not the best, but there's a good amount of space on here that you can blink up, also a bit around in the main. A bunker already at the front, and what is Lethal going to be expecting? Boombox now adding in 2 additional gateways. A missile turret is coming down in the main base, also a good idea to put one down in the front, just in case DTs try and wander in that way. But generally, Lethal read it the same way I did, that it was probably going to be a Dark Shrine. But Blink makes this a lot more scary, and that's because the bunker's only at the front, and Blink plays are incredibly potent at the moment. The way to combat that is by building another bunker up in your main, just to make sure that is secure. Scan now going down from Lethal. He wants to know precisely what's occurring. Sees 2 additional gateways, and that's all. Probably really scratching his head now, thinking, okay, what could be coming? Stalker count up to 6. The mothership core making progress across the map. A lone SCV gonna be able to see that this mothership core is coming. Bit of a giveaway on the build. Still no bunker though, up in the main. Decent number of infantry on the field ready to defend. Blink still a few seconds away from completion. The main is going to be the target. Pushing in towards that bunker isn't going to be useful for those stalkers. High ground vision now being granted. Allows the supply depot to get sniped down. Supply blocks lethal. Exactly. Nice use of a time warp there. Going to allow these stalkers to chase down a couple more units. The bunker just in range. A reactor now getting focused. Blink is completed, but not used to get up into the high ground as of yet. A few more stalkers warp in. Lethal checking around for any additional proxy locations. He has scouted the Twilight Council now. Dark Shrine following this up now for Boombox. He saw that there's no detection at the front, maybe trying to punish that. Recently, in a patch, you will recall that a mothership core vision range was decreased to try to limit how effective stalkers are at blinking up into a main. But Boombox using that mothership core so precisely that it's not becoming a problem. SCVs have now been pulled. A stalker getting very low. They all managed to survive though, which is incredibly important. Don't want them dropping into death. More stalkers, more scary. It's that simple. Another forge being added in, or the first forge being added in rather. We do have the Dark Shrine also coming through now. Stalkers ready to blink up into the main. See no units there. That gives them time to get in position. The mothership core though is very vulnerable. Time warp being used. Down goes the mothership core. A lot of stalkers also taking significant amounts of damage. They managed to retreat, but that was not a good move up by Boombox there. He took so much damage. Really not what he would have wanted. And as such, now loses slightly more than his opponent, and doesn't really get much worker damage done. Dark Templar though, now coming through. No wall at the front. Energy on the command centers is not enough for a scan. There is, of course, that missile turret in the main base, but these DTs are just going to split. One towards the natural. Scan energy is now up. There goes down the scan. The DT could get away if it wanted to. In the main, there may be detection, but there's no units there to deal with it. So while the DT at the natural has died, the DT in the main is also getting some nice progress. 4 workers killed on that one. 11 workers down in total. Could see a 12th. It's focusing the Marauder though. Gets that, which is very nice. And a lot of mining time has now been missed by Lethal, as well as taking quite a big hit to his economy. He's down to only 26 SCVs compared to the 46 probes of Boombox. Concussive Shell about to finish up though for Lethal. He's also got +1 infantry weapons on its way, and Stim, Combat Shield have been completed too. Another DT going to come sneaking through, again while there's adequate numbers of missile turrets for detection, there's no units here, and that means more SCVs are going to die. Basically putting Lethal into an all-in situation. He has to deal equal or greater damage to Boombox now with this push, or it could very well be lights out. The mothership core, not enough energy on it in order to get that photon overcharge. First pokes and prods coming through. Probes getting pulled. SCVs are being pulled for Lethal as well. Knows that that's required if he's going to be able to win this game. He is completely all in at this stage. Photon cannon does get taken down. Photon overcharge, still not enough energy on that mothership core. It's a long way off. The Stalker's blinking nicely. A scan being used because a few DTs were warped in there. And Boombox losing a lot of units, but these stims are really hurting the life of the infantry. It's incredibly low. Boombox still way up on the worker count, waiting for that next wave of warp-ins, but the Stalkers alone now should be able to snipe off these last few units. GG well played, and Boombox takes the series 2-0.